All right. So hey everybody. Tonight we have Tenants from the 333 Fire. My name is Shanasia. We have Sue. Sue, you can say hi. We have Miss Stephanie. You can say hi, Miss Steph. We have my girl Nikki, aka Dana, aka Nikki. That part. So basically we're here tonight to let everyone know our story because unfortunately the news doesn't tell the real story, and everybody on the outside looking in just assumes that we're getting the help that we deserve or need, and that's not the case. So who would like to go first as far as telling their story? I basically have a video already on YouTube speaking my piece.
All right, I'll let somebody go because I'm always the one that gotta go first. So I don't want to always be the angry Black woman.
I gladly probably take that.
My story. My name is Dana Campbell. I'm one of the third floor families that was displaced by the fire January 9th. My story basically, I lived in this building for 17 years, but I am a NYCHA Section 8 voucher holder.
Okay.
Because I am a NYCHA Section 8 voucher holder, CBR, the actual subsidy attached to the building, is unable to assist me in finding apartments or anything like that. Since the fire, NYCHA has been at complete because we've not seen or heard from NYCHA at all. Almost no city agencies have been involved at all. I've continuously asked repeatedly, where's DHS presence? Where's NYCHA? No answer. All you keep getting is these empty promises. Oh, don't worry, everybody's going to get a voucher. Well, getting a voucher doesn't alone mean that everyone is going to get a place to live. Just getting a voucher is not enough. Right. A voucher is a piece of paper that doesn't really
do anything,
add up to anything. What we need is assistance. I have been in this apartment for 17 years, and I've had another apartment for a couple of years before that. I have never been homeless. I don't really know how to look for a whole new apartment. Most of the things I've been given access to is virtual, which doesn't really tell you a whole lot about an apartment that you plan on moving your family in and living in for whatever time, whether it be a year or 10, 15, 20, 30 years. You can't really get a good assessment of a place through photos. Most places aren't even taking Section 8, even though you tell them you have Section 8, they'll give you these listings, and you either don't qualify for the property or the property is not what you need for you, whether it be the wrong family size or bedrooms or what have you. We have reached out. I particularly have reached out to several people. No responses, no callbacks, no answers to emails, nothing. My Bronx Works worker has been trying to help, but I really don't think that Bronx Works is up for the task of this situation. This is not really what they do, and it's just a lot of runaround. I'm not the only one. Most of my neighbors are having the same problem. It seems like people who don't really need help are getting all the help, and people who really need assistance are being left in the cold.
Yeah, I see that. My mom has NYCHA as well.
It's sad. It doesn't make sense. Like, there are people who have apartments and are choosing to leave, which is fine. Everybody has the right to make their own choice for what's good for their family. But there are some of us who cannot go home, who were forced out. We were not only forced out of our homes, but to leave all our belongings behind. You know, things like photos, my children's baby pictures, my diploma, my stuff.
Important stuff. Right. And
I walked away from this life in this home with what I happened to be wearing that day.
And y'all should have definitely been first priority. So I don't understand why, like, it's like a standstill for y'all anyway. Like, since they want to make a big deal about everything, and we get on the news, oh yeah, we're going to make sure everybody in the building get a home and stuff like that. And it's just like, we see that you're here. Would you like to tell your story?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So I was a little bit different. Like we weren't the apartment used to be my dad's, so therefore it became a situation once we try to switch over the lease into our name. It was since 2019 that he passed. It's been an issue, but now even more since the fire. So uh it's a little more complicated because those who don't have lease, that are not on the lease, are not being noticed
Right.
at all. So if you wasn't on the lease, it's like you're left to the back burner, like you're on the side. You're a nobody right now. I am currently still awaiting for a voucher, even though they claim that we were supposed to be. I'm on a Zoom. Even though they claim that we were all supposed to be getting a voucher, that seems not to be the case. It's as if, once again, as you said, everything was just for show. Like I announced on the 12 News when we did show up at the first meeting that they held at 391, where we was told we couldn't enter because we needed vaccines. Now, I showed up there, and it was at the minute I spoke with News 12, all of a sudden we were allowed inside the building,
Mm.
which I found a little weird because 391 is where my son graduated from. He is also elected of that school because the logo that they do wear is my son's logo. Like he drew that.
Wow.
But with being said, is like, how could you stop us, the tenants of 333, from going into a meeting that we're supposed to be in? It was meant for us.
Yeah, that was a little off-putting as well. I agree.
And it's like, if you don't speak your mind, nobody wants to hear, nobody hears you. But the minute you go and speak with the media, all of a sudden they hear you for that day. And then after that, it's like you're nobody once again.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah, so it doesn't really make sense. I felt like a lot of it was just for show, just so they can make themselves look good. I did state that on Channel 12. And of course, they edit everything out. And they took what we said and turned it around and just put what they wanted to put in it, which I found very unfair, because if I'm speaking to you about one thing and I'm letting you know how I feel, put everything that I'm telling you in there. Don't cut off and put what you want to put, and nothing else is being heard because you don't want people to look bad. But what about us? We're being left. Now, once we hit a month, we're nobodies. We're the forgotten.
Right. Right.
So 3-3 is the forgottens now, because it happened. They did what they can. That's how they felt. They felt giving out gift cards, and that was more important than homing us.
And the funny thing is, everybody has daily expenses. So if we're not in our homes and able to cook our food, we have to buy out, buy food to outside. And eventually that starts to add up. And if we have all the stuff that y'all keep giving us, we have to buy storage now. So now storage is another expense. Then you have your getting back and forth to where you have to get to, because you have all these meetings and things that we come into for us to get passed around. And now the money is gone. So then what?
Exactly. And then even some of the cards are even being canceled right on you.
Wow.
You go and you swipe it once, and then all of a sudden, by the second time you go and swipe, it's like fraud suspected or suspicious activity, or so. I'm not getting what's the point of giving out these cards? Like, they forget children eat. Right. And if you can't take food stamps and everything else that people get and buy hot meals with it, we need to use these gift cards that they're giving us. Every time you order from Uber Eats and all that, that is not the price that you're getting. So if you order meal of $35, it is coming out to 60 something dollars because you're paying tip, you're paying the delivery, you're paying all this extra fees that add up. So there goes a $200 gift card that you just got.
Has anybody received any money from the merit fund? Like from what?
That I know of, no. The only thing everybody has received is from the Gambian.
Yeah, Gambian. We already knew the Gambian, but you know,
Well, it was the Gambian, and it was the money that everybody received if they went to what was it? The place on the concourse.
Okay.
It was on a Saturday and a Sunday. It was money from Bronx Park. The owners of our building. They gave out, I think, $1,000 cards. It was like 2 or 3 of them. Like it all depended upon your household.
See, that's some bullshit.
You got it. Bronx Work sent me there, and that's how I got it.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So yeah, but that's what we're talking. Like the gift cards is because you can't take money off those cards.
Yeah, you cannot take money off. No.
So that's the whole purpose. Are we going to be able to swipe those cards to get an apartment?
No.
Are they gonna go and swipe every individual card that we have received to accept it for an apartment payment? No. So how is that helping us at all?
It's just funny because it's just like, how are you have them talking about furniture fee, and it's like, but we don't have no place to put the furniture. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna help you out buy furniture, but it's just like, but we need housing. There's too many buildings being built. There's too many buildings in New York in general right now for them not to have more options than that one building. And it's too, like, first of all, I don't even think Bronx Works is an organization that they should have worked with from begin with. DHS is Department of Homeless Services. They deal with that. So that's somebody that they should have looked into. But because y'all just want to just push us off on anybody, making us believe that they're going to help us to the extent, and they're not. And that's the annoying part. Like, and I don't like the fact that a lot of people are just speaking for us, and it's just like, hello.
The thing we don't really hear from you. You don't hear from your Bronx worker. Right. It's not like they're calling you on a daily to check up on you. They're not figuring out what's going through your head.
I signed up for mental health. Did anybody else sign up for the mental health thing?
I did as well.
I still haven't.
But they called me maybe like 2 days, and then it was like that was it. They just stopped calling. So
no one ever called me, so I'm still waiting.
Never called me either. I'm still waiting.
I had a breakdown in my doctor's office when I went to for my prenatal care, and she had to sign me up for one because at this point, me being pregnant, almost due, I can't take medication. I can't do none of that. So now I'm at risk of postpartum depression because of what I'm going through. So it's like, I don't need to go through that. That means I will have to have doctors on me right after all this is done and my child comes out, because nobody knows what's going through my goddamn head. Like, they think it's easy watching bodies come out of a building, watching kids pass in front of you. This is not something that we just gonna bypass. This is something that we're living with forever.
That word "even" is like a trigger for me because I dealt with postpartum. I feel like I still deal with postpartum depression because I never got it. You know, but when I started with the therapist, it stopped automatic. Like it stopped. It was just a few times. So this added on top of it, and for them to be so careless when it comes to us is just so aggravating, and it pisses me off, to be honest. Like, you mishandle people, and you feel like it's okay, and it's not. That's not what you need to be doing in this situation right here, because this is a sensitive situation. Like, nobody plans to have a fire. Like, we want to live our daily, everyday life, just like everybody else. So even when the Fat Joe situation, like, how dare you? How dare you stop what you're doing from your daily luxury life or whatever you're doing, your day-to-day, to tell somebody who's in a fucked up position that you don't fuck with them because they're calling lawyers.
Yeah.
That's just dumb.
That's a little crazy because, once again, my husband reached out to Fat Joe. And his exact words was, we're not looking for a donation. That right there and all should have said it to you. We're looking for help finding somewhere to live. As in, if you have the resources, then help us get to it.
Right.
But instead, he chose well, if
Right.
you're one of those, slum people who take the building to court, I can't deal with you and all this. I'm like over it, because you hung out in our building. You was a part of 333.
Mm.
You understand? You know what it's like to be to have the shoe on the other foot. So for you to sit there and say that to, not even just because we're your Hispanic people, but to your people in general, because we are human beings. And at the end of the day, everybody in this building, we're supposed to be a family.
Right.
And we all went through this together. And for you
It's
to
funny
just
to
sit
me
there.
that he chose a hood lingo for a time like this. Like, this is
Exactly.
not the time to want to be like, you all chummy with the man now. So now you cute. That's what it is. Like, so now you
where's the
below
sympathetic?
you, apparently. Like, you wasn't from the Bronx, but you forget that the Bronx people actually made you who you were. Like,
Yeah.
from the support of us, like putting you out there as well. Like, even though it was for Big Pun, you just happened to be on that bandwagon, but whatever. Love is love, period.
And just the fact that, it wasn't even I apologize that, y'all going through this, or none of the above. It was everything else, like the tone in your voice, the way you spoke about it. Like, it didn't make sense to me. You were supposed to be here to help. And if you were so-called donating and trying to help us, then you would never utter the words that you did out your mouth.
Right.
For
Right.
someone that's there to support people. Because what type of support was that? That didn't give no support. That just made people just not want to follow you no more, not want to be a part of you no more, especially me. And
he had a
he's
live,
known
and I was
me
on
since
his
I
live.
was like 13 years old.
Wow.
So that was a big thing for me. Like, but at the end of the day, like I said, was hurts the most is because, we're still in hotels. We're still fighting to get apartments. For us that are not going back to the units because we can't, because of the traumatizing things that has happened. It's hard. It's hard because I can't go back into my unit and sit there and go down on an elevator every day and know that the same people I walked and see every morning, I cannot see anymore.
Yeah.
My close neighbors are not there. The people that my kids grew up around since my son was 13, who is now 20, is not in the building no more. The ones who watch my daughter from my stomach, like, that's kind of hard. And the fact that I got friends that their parents can't even get into an apartment. Like Sue, I know them. I know her son and them forever now. So it's like, damn. So you deny her when we were supposed to be. No one gets denied based on your income.
That was the tagline, basically. That was the whole big, like, this is what we believe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you believe, you achieve. Ain't no achieving here. What going on?
It was the smoke and mirrors, basically.
Right. Basically.
Yeah.
It was the smoke and mirrors trick. I'm gonna sell you a bridge that I don't own, but it looks good in front of the cameras. And when the cameras leave, I'm going to take back my bridge.
Exactly. That, and then with the whole furniture shit, it's like, yeah, let me give them something to do. So now we sit here looking at all this furniture, price and shit.
That furniture
like,
don't have a place to put it.
So let me just put them on this hamster wheel right fast, see how long it's going to take them. Oh, let me let them chase their tail. Like, where is it? They keep going around in circles until they come up with some shit, until they realize, like, hey, yeah, we don't got an apartment to go to. So,
yeah.
Okay, yeah, and it's like,
go ahead.
That's the bad part about it, because we got everybody, like, it's crazy. I watch I watch the ladies in the build over here where we're at, which is me, Sue, and everybody. And I'm like, I hear them, you know, and just trying to occupy their mind. Okay, we're going to go do this and we're going to go do that. And it's like, this is what you guys want. Y'all want us to keep ourselves busy. So it distracts us from asking you questions, from wondering what the hell are y'all going to do next about this. But y'all not saying nothing. They haven't even updated us on what's going to happen come the 7th. Because on all our paperwork don't say the 7th.
So
it
how
says
do y'all get taking pictures and shit? Like, I don't get it. How are you able to sit at a desk and table and take pictures and still not come up with a plan for us? Like, you fucking Fat Joe is at the Knicks game. He's on live talking about fucking what Tommy and shit from Power. Like, is this really as important? Because when I was blasting, he was like looking at the screen like, I know he saw what I was writing. Like, I know you saw because I kept posting it. Like, for you to blatantly just ignore us, like, and then that was confirmation from what you said, Jeannie, what he said to your husband, because it was like, you see what I'm writing, but you're not giving me no acknowledgement.
Exactly.
Acknowledging the people right underneath me, like literally right underneath me.
Hold on one second.
I'm like, come on now. I said, where's the Muhammad Ali's of the famous people, the ones that's like, oh no, y'all not hushing me just because I got money. Like, I'm not for you, I'm for my people, like, at the end of the day. But it's a lot of these motherfuckers that be in this position. But always remember, God can give us and God can take it away. Okay? So don't let all the glitz and glam. I'm not even mad at him. That's one. Because his time is coming. Every dog has their day. Y'all rocking out right now. Like, these black and brown people that's famous, you really think they give a fuck about y'all? They just using y'all for us. You're just a face to them. So you think you all cute right then and there, but actuality, you're a puppet. Mm-hmm. So dance, puppet, dance. Because your time will come. Fuck out of here. I'm tired of these people.
Okay, so I guess I'll speak.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Versi. Everybody calls me Sue. I've lived in the building for 24 years. I lived on the 3rd floor, the floor that the fire started on. Everyone on the 3rd floor cannot go back to their apartments. Their apartments are deemed non-livable. We had to leave with whatever we had on our backs. When I finally was able to get back into my apartment about 3 weeks later, I found out it was burglarized. Management told us that there would be security on the floor and that we wouldn't have to worry about people going in and, stealing. Well, that was a lie. Someone went in and stole my 65-inch television set and stole a P5 and a Nintendo Switch. They went into the kids' room and took their game systems. I spoke to management about it, and management looked at me like I was some strange alien that they never seen before.
They favorite
asked them what was they going to do about it, and they says, oh, we'll go to the precinct and make a police report and let the police handle it from that note. So I said to them, you know what? Whatever I can take out the house, let me get it all now, which is salvageable, because I don't have time for them to take anything else.
Right.
I took the little things that was important and just left everything else. My biggest struggle with this whole fire is how it's being handled.
Yeah, because it's not okay.
It is being handled horribly. This is a disaster. I'm very surprised that no one had a plan at play for all of us that are affected by this fire. I feel that the people that are in the hotels should have been first priority.
Agreed.
We should have been given the proper paperwork to go into new homes, but they didn't do that. They just told everybody, oh, everybody can move. So everybody who had apartments that was livable and wasn't affected by the fire, they moved out and moved into nice buildings. But now you have people like me, Nikki, you, Shanae, your mother, everybody who can't go back to their apartments, still living in hotels.
Right.
I asked the question not once, not twice, but multiple times every time we had any type of news conference or any type of gathering with any type of politician, will my pay, or will any of us who work and who paid the full rent, will our pay be held against us? I was told, no, they're not looking at your pay stub. They're not looking at no pay, nothing. Everybody's going to get help. Everybody is going to get a subsidy or a voucher. Those were the words that I was told.
Right.
After they have me run around for 3 weeks, they send me to a CVR Section 8. CVR Section 8 says, oh, fill out all of these paperwork, give me your bank statements and give me your W-2s. I hand all that stuff in and they says, oh, no, you make too much money. We can't give you no Section 8. We can't give you no voucher. So I'm like, so what's the next plan for me to do? No one knows what the next plan is. I call Bronx Works. She says, oh, well, try to go to home base and see what home base say. I run around for another 2 weeks. Home base, we can't help you. You make too much. But this was the question that I asked. And I was told, no. Now here it is. It's what, 7 weeks, 6 weeks later. And I finally get a mini answer. Being that I don't qualify for Section 8 or any of the housing subsidies because I make too much, they're going to skip past my family and they're going to give it to my brother who was staying there for a couple of days. So they're going to skip past my daughter, who's the co-head of household. They're going to skip past my 2 sons. They're going to skip past my 2 minor children, and they're going to give it to my brother who is not on a lease and who does not have no subsidy. So they're going to give him Section 8 and find him an apartment.
But yeah,
my kids, hi?
But yeah, your daughter has a son.
Yes, and my daughter has my grandson, but she's going to be bumped and pushed aside. So I asked Miss Precious Quick at Bronx Works, does that make any sense to you? If I don't qualify, the next on the list would be my daughter. She's the co-head of household.
Right.
If I can't get it, she should be able to get it. Why would you skip past her and skip past people who are on the lease and go to somebody else who is not on the lease and give them a voucher and find them a place to live? Her response was, well, that's how CVR is doing it. For all the people who were in the household when the fire happened and who didn't live there, they're giving them Section 8 and finding them a place to live. I said, so what happens to the people that was on the lease and who was in the house? Well, they feel that y'all can all double up. Because if the fire didn't happen, y'all would be living doubled up. I said, but that's not what was told to us. What was told to us was everyone will get a voucher or a subsidy. Now, I know I don't qualify, so I'm fine with that.
But still, like, no offer for a building or nothing?
Nothing. They only giving everybody one offer, and it's the one building, La Central, over by 149. Nothing. The last meeting that we had when Richie Torres was there, Felice Oswald, and Gibson, Vanessa, her, I guess, little mini person that follows her around, because I don't even know what we gonna call her. But when she don't pops up, she pops up out of nowhere.
That one.
Yeah. I asked them and they all said the same thing. Don't worry, everybody's gonna get something. Don't worry, everybody's gonna get a place to live. Now, when I hit Oswald up and I tell him this, he says, well, how much did you make last year? And I said, but you said
what does that have to do with anything?
That wouldn't be held against me. That's what you said. That wouldn't be held against me. Oh, well, that's what they're looking at. But why are they looking at that? I didn't cause this fire. I didn't start this fire. Here it is, gonna be 2 months, and I'm still in a hotel. But you have people who had a roof over their head. They leave and they go someplace else, but we're still sitting here in a hotel with nobody giving us no answers.
Y'all not even offering me a damn apartment in the building on the upper floor.
They're not even offering that to people who would want to take that.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. And doesn't he have the building owner? Doesn't he have different buildings? Like, I haven't heard anything as far as that either.
198.
Oh, he has
We're not going to get
198.
those buildings. We're not going to get that.
198 buildings that the building manager owns, right? Or
We're not going to
193.
get none of his good buildings because he don't want us in his good buildings. He want to keep us up here away from his good buildings, but he's going to offer us only one building. Just one building.
On 149th though, like who the
But the crazy part, I got desperate enough and filled out for that one. And you know what they told me? Oh, you make too much. You can't come live in this one either.
wow.
So therefore, you're stuck in
Why
a
wouldn't you
hotel,
want somebody who could pay the rent?
That's my
which
thing.
doesn't make sense.
That's my thing.
So
Okay.
people that pay rent don't get no opportunity.
No
like-
help.
So it's like I was in a fire. I'm in need of an apartment. Because I make too much money, I can't have an apartment.
The skin irritation is likely caused by external stimuli.
And it's crazy because your whole life, you're taught, you grow up, you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, you pay your taxes, and you live a law-abiding citizen life. And this is what you do. And then when a disaster happens, everybody turns their back on you.
This is how they show. This is how I know everything is set up. This is why this is.
Maybe this shouldn't be at
That
I ain't
makes
gonna
no
have that
sense.
conversation on here right now. I'll speak on it at another time about, yeah. But that's ridiculous. Basically, so you're basically putting us in the system to fail.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you think everything is all right and you're flowing, something snatches and that's what happens. Like, so the system really is not built for y'all to even make it. We want you to think that you're making it, and then when something like it's over.
Mhm. They told me when we all went to Monroe, they said fill out for everything. They said, Miss Pope, go fill out for food stamps because you're gonna be in a hotel, you're gonna have to buy food. I said, okay.
With
I
no
went,
clothes.
I never heard from the guy. We're at what? This is our 6th week. The guy called me last week, Friday, and says, oh, I see you filled out for stuff, but I don't know what you filled out for. And I said, well, I explained the situation to him, and he says, oh, well, you work, so yeah, you're not going to qualify for anything, but if you want, you could send me your pay stubs and your bank statements so that I can close the case and deny you. What kind of dumb shit is that?
Why am I sending you any of my personal information?
So I could put all my stuff in your computer system and y'all can see it and y'all can have it?
No.
I ain't never heard nothing like that.
At all.
Send me your stuff so I can deny you. Deny me right now. Why do I just told you I have a job? I haven't been to work. I've been out of work for 2 months because I don't know if I'm coming or going, but I have to go back to work because I can't keep, going like this. I'm blowing through everything that I have in my savings.
Right.
Yeah,
Chasing
that
behind
part.
yourself.
Can't go
So
to
I
work.
have to go back to work.
I can't stand people.
So if
Like-
you're working, you're not getting into a program because you have to finish reading your book, please. Because you have to fall under a certain budget in order for you to get into a program. So now that people are not working and haven't been working for 2 months, what happens then? Does that not count?
No, because you still got a job to go back to. It's not like you're terminated.
Yeah, well, I was told I needed to not have a job.
I could have quit my job just to get a place to live.
But then when you do that, you're still stuck because
Which is what I am right now.
plenty of people done did that. So basically, you don't want us to succeed at anything right now. You don't give a fuck.
So basically what they want us is exactly where we are right now. The Ramada is where we're at now. But the path
Until
is
March
across the
7th.
street. The path shelter system is across the street. So what they trying to do? Expect us come the 7th or the 6th, according to our paperwork. We got to cross our asses right across the street.
No, from what I was told,
Because they said
Bye.
that the building is not renewing it.
Yeah, from what I was
And
told
Red
by,
Cross said our cases are closed.
yeah, Bronx Works is supposed to be taking over and management is supposed to be taking over the pay. None of us are supposed to go into the shelter. We're supposed to stay here until they find us something, because we cannot go into the shelter because the shelter is already booked. I mean, already full and got their intake people that's coming in. So since we have these hotels and this is considered a place for us to reside, they're going to have to keep paying for us to stay here.
Yeah, and according to what I was told was management doesn't want to pay.
Yeah,
After
they do not
7.
want to pay. Yeah, they do not want to pay.
So, and Bronx Works is not going to be able to do it on their own. So what happens to us then?
That's where, if you have a lawyer, your lawyer has to come into play and make them do what they're supposed to do.
So it's like, damned if we do, damned if we fucking don't. Like,
Exactly. And that's what I said. I said, when the cameras and everybody leave, we're still here to deal with this mess. We're still here to deal with the mess. We're still here to deal with our children trying to cope. A lot of our kids are getting depressed. A lot of our kids are, sad and, crying all the time. Like, you're stuck in this small room with nothing to do.
Yeah.
My son is
You're stuck in
aggravated.
this small room with nothing to do.
Yes, my son is very
There's only
much
but so much
aggravated.
TV you can look at.
And I don't even watch TV.
And I done read like almost all my books I can read. So it's like, what more is there?
What next? So I'm glad that y'all was able to come on here right now, because this is like a way of us doing something, which is why I wanted to have this, because people get to hear our story, because everybody's just being told, oh, they're fine. And then when they find out what's really going on, everybody's like, oh, that's fucked up. Yeah. Yeah. You would think that we will have all the help in the world, right? Nope. So since y'all want to highlight it, since y'all made a big deal out of it, because everybody came out of nowhere, like shit, management didn't even show up till it was nighttime when we were supposed to go to the hotels. Everybody else.
So management only came, looked, seen everybody, and left.
Oh yeah. Oh, and they came and said, "Oh yeah, well you're not on the lease. You're not on the lease, so I ain't doing this for you." Like just to pinpoint who wasn't on the lease, just to be fake. That's what that was about.
Did we lose Miss Stephanie, or is she still there?
She right there.
Oh, because we just are talking and we didn't even give her a chance to say what her piece is. Sorry.
I had to mute her because she had to. You could unmute yourself, Steph. I had to mute you because I heard the TV while Nikki was talking. I'm tired. I've been meditating, trying to keep sane. But this ain't fair. But I just feel like Spirit has something greater. I know it might seem crazy right now, but I feel like, eventually something will happen. And we're going to manifest having smiles on our face. Everybody have a safe, nice, warm home to live in, to raise grandbabies, babies, everything, because this is not fair at all. Even if we got to take their homes or sit in their building and cop a spot. I mean, obviously.
All right, let me talk now.
Ahead,
I don't like to talk now, but I'm gonna talk. My name is Stephanie Smith from 3C, from 333. I've been in the building 25 years. My baby was 3 months when I got there. And it's hard I got CVR, and it's hard to find an apartment with CVR. Even though they tell you, go to this apartment, go here, go there. And I don't want to go to 149th Street. I went there, it's like a closet. The rooms and the area, forget it. I don't want my kids to be growing up, my son to be growing up there, rest of his life or whatever, there on 149th Street with all the drugs and all that. Like the man was telling the people to move, when we went to see the apartment. And that's crazy. Everybody in the whole building, or half of the building is in there. And I'm just like, wait a minute. People that don't even got an apartment. We live on the 3rd floor. I went there. I was crying when I came out because my apartment is messed up. The floor is messed up.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't really go through a lot of stuff, but my son's room, both of my son's room was tore up. Like somebody went through a tornado. I didn't even look and see what was missing or whatever. I just looked in there to get my paperwork and left. And my daughter got her stuff, and I'm supposed to go back there Monday, so maybe I'll go around and see what, what's missing or whatever. I know it's a whole bunch of stuff missing in there, but CBR need to help us with find an apartment. The ones that have CBR that don't want to go to 149th Street.
Did y'all ask if there was other apartments in the building, like on different floors that y'all can move into?
Yes, I did. And we was told that due to the fact that there's people that still have belongings and that in there, in order, if you wanted to get another apartment in the building, you still had to go through CVR and process your paperwork, because now it has to be transferred over to another unit and wait for them to move out of their units, so that way they can fix those apartments up, and then they can see if you qualify. But even
But
with
that
that,
takes months probably.
even with that, they're not basically, that's another way of them telling you they're not going to give it to you. Just trying to be, beat around the bush. So
Then I had a 3-bedroom. They put me down to a 2-bedroom because my daughter left. And so they put in now 2 bedrooms. And I called a lady. I said, supposing somebody else was there. My daughter didn't leave, but we still have the 3 bedrooms. She said, no, they're 2 bedroom. They just switched it from CBR, regular Section 8. And then you can move around with this one. The other one was like you stayed in the building.
See, my father had the regular Section 8, but they went and they convinced him. My father, my father was legit illiterate. Like, he couldn't read, he didn't write, he didn't do none of the above. So they just convinced him, like, you removing your regular Section 8 and joining our CVR is better for the building. And my father, being who he is, he's just like, okay, and signed the paperwork, because at the time it was I forgot the other building management lady's name.
Oh yeah, that's what I did too.
And she went and she used to sign my dad's paperwork for him, because he didn't know what he was doing. Before he could sign his lease was already signed. Mr. Romero, you don't need a sign. It's already signed for you. I did it. So you had fraud on my father's paperwork from the beginning that he moved into the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So 3 days prior to him passing away, they had us take the paperwork to him so we can be put on the lease. And then all of a sudden, because he ended up passing away and the papers weren't processed, now that became you're not on the lease, but I've been there 12 years. So the 12 years that I was there living with him, plus the 7 years prior to him being there, that doesn't count. He's been there over 18 years. Are you kidding me right now? And it was like, and every building management knew, because they knew who I was. So everybody that we have gone through, they knew who I was, but that didn't matter to them. It's still, to this day, it doesn't matter to them. Like, they still ask for all types of paperwork. Listen, I was asked to give a declaration stating that my children are my children.
And you sure she's not just setting you up to break your heart again?
Well,
I was asked to bring in all types of forms. I had to make an appointment for my son to go and get a paperwork stating that my 19-year-old never has filed taxes a day in his life, because he goes on my paperwork.
Send it to you in 20 minutes.
I had to have him go and get identification done over. We have been giving the runaround of all runarounds, because they want 1,001 documents before they can even help you.
Wow.
To process just paperwork alone for you to get into a program.
But not my child birth certificate not being enough.
No, not it's saying, not my child's birth certificate, saying 333 apartment 12 feet. That still didn't matter. You still needed me to sign a paper stating that these are my kids.
What?
Mm-mm.
That's crazy.
That's stupid. That's stupid.
Very much.
Like, and it didn't make no sense to me. Like, so it was like right now they still got us waiting. It was you'll hear back from us, and we're still at the waiting end of the table. Like,
Well, Bronx
okay,
work, home base ain't no better.
no,
Now,
home base still got us
They
waiting too,
there
because
for
they make you change
resources.
your mind.
they know better because they told us that they wasn't giving us the Section 8. My daughter went to home base. She filled out the paperwork, she gave everything back. They said, okay, we're going to give you a caseworker and your caseworker will notify you. So
I'm tired of these
I
caseworkers.
said, give her a week. She gave him a week. She went there. They says, oh yeah, they know you from the Bronx fire. We put in a move on it. It's been a week. It usually takes about 2 weeks. She said, okay, let me go there again. She went there again this week. This makes the 3rd week. She's been waiting. You know what they told her? Oh, we didn't have a caseworker, but we just found you a caseworker today.
That's because she walked in.
We just found you a caseworker today. And because we're closed on Fridays and Monday is a holiday, the caseworker should get back to you on Tuesday. And once you submit your document, someone will get back with you in about 2 weeks from now. So now, you mean to tell me it's literally going to take you 2 months to help me?
Right.
When
What?
on the paperwork, you put Bronx fire urgent. I don't think they know what the meaning of urgent is.
I don't think either.
Mm-mm.
And everything with them is, oh, well, this is not the proper procedure how things are done. There's a procedure how things is done. And everything takes time. And the procedure is you have to follow these steps. They need to put into play
They
a
need to
better
figure out
plan for when
urgent
people
procedures.
have fires. That's what they need to do.
No, because this system is put out to fuck us over. Like, it's no coincidence that all these fires in all these buildings is happening. Like, you know, now it's time to take over the Bronx with the gentrification. Dumb shit. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
after
saying?
our
Like,
fire, it was a whole bunch of fires.
exactly. So everywhere. So all of these buildings and landlords and slumlords are just dropping the ball purposely. Because if I leave something unkept, eventually it will harm whoever lives there, and they got to get out, and we could just up the rent and we could put whoever we want in here. Nobody's dumb. And just their movements alone, just letting us know what's going on.
Because they want you tell everybody they can move. Everybody can leave that building. There was no light or gas included in that building.
At all. Never.
Now the rent was $24.50. That's how much I was paying. But there was no light or gas. So that was an extra bonus.
Right.
So now that everybody's leaving that building, oh, you know what you're going to do? You're going to clean it up. You're going to fix it. You're going to make it look nice. And you're going to add light and gas into that bitch. They know what they're doing. They're going to keep the rent as it is, but they're going to add light and gas. Because when that building was built, that was one of the perks.
Right.
That you didn't have to pay light and
That's
gas.
why mommy didn't want to leave in the first place.
Yeah,
and it was affordable living, and it was nice.
Gas? I ain't going.
And it was nice.
It's affordable living, you know, which
now
is
the people that lived there in 149th Street, they got to pay gas and light, and supposedly they burn gas. They got kids that like to play games and all that.
And then they got kids that so used to the threes, they ain't gonna know what the hell cutting the light off is.
What's crazy, because I've been on like, okay, if this is what's gonna happen, now I gotta properly train minds who are already at the stage where they like playing their video games, because this is what my son is going to college for, to create his own game system, to do computer tech and do all this, which requires him to be on a damn computer and all that majority of the day. So now I'm okay, we gotta shut down like 9, 10 o'clock while we're in a hotel where we're still not paying light and gas. but we're still having to shut down because now I got to show them that if we have to move into a home with light and gas, we have to shut down at a certain time.
Right.
How do you tell a 19-year-old who, I mean, a 20-year-old almost, like, okay, you're going to have to go to work, but when you get back, you can't do no schoolwork till the morning. I feel like that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just tired of them.
It's ridiculous. Like, yes, it take them time, but they already put it in works in process. Like, let's start on it. Let's start putting all that in here.
They was already plotting on Con Edison to begin with anyway.
Yeah, they was.
That's why Con Edison
Because
kept
they
coming
were,
back and forth.
because the building was fighting against it as far as the tenants. No way, because we signed a lease and it included light and gas. That's the reason why they had no reason to apply light and gas, and they couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But now that there's no tenants hardly in the building, now they're going to say, the hell with the minority of people that we have in here, because now we could put the light and gas. It's not that many tenants.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what they want.
80%
That's
of the
exactly what
building
they
has
want.
chosen not to go back. And now it's like, I'm just, I don't know if you guys recently saw the flyer that went out as well of the 2 families that were taken out of the housing.
Yeah. I heard something about that. Out of the hotels? Yeah.
Yeah, the pregnant girl is going through a high risk and all this other stuff as well.
Mhm.
So that's another thing that they right now more concerned about. So if I don't know if you guys got reached out to, but they reached out to me, and it's like, oh, do you have any complaints in your hotel? Tell us, is there any roaches? If there's this, if there's that, so we have a reason to. If that's the only that's the only way you're gonna be able to get help through these places. You have a reason why your hotel is not sanitary.
New York's 106.7.
That's
My
unbelievable.
Families that went through whatever they went through in the Alden.
God.
But the funny thing is, I'm in the Audi, and I ain't hear shit about that.
Delilah, our new daily podcast. Listen in, tell me what you think.
So I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like they started.
I was the owner of the house, I would have kicked the motherfuckers out. You gonna wait a month to try to say you got bed bugs from my hotel? I would kick your ass out. Fuck.
That's true.
Right?
True.
Come on, you gonna wait a
Go
month?
check that bed.
If that's what bad, you would have been known it. It wouldn't take a month for you to know that you got bed bugs.
Okay.
Like,
That's
you know,
that's how you check for when you first get into that.
When you first get there,
Exactly.
you're supposed to check that.
You're supposed to take the sheets off, get your Lysol and your alcohol spray and baptize it if you're gonna sleep on it.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
not for nothing.
Call
Like
for extra sheets. You don't see that? What's that?
when I'm
That's it?
here, you know, there was a couple of little roaches running around, but you know what I did? The same cards you gave me, I went and I bought some mother freaking Raid.
Me as well. I got a fucking broom. I got toilet cleaner.
Broom,
I don't got time
mop,
for waiting for these little.
sweeper, all that, because you're not gonna come into my privacy when my privacy and my peace and tranquility was already taken from me, and come and have to come and clean my room for me. No.
That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Then half-ass do it.
I do what I do in my own comfort zone. So what I did was I spray outside the door. I spray all inside of here, because what else? Where else we going? Where else are we going? I'm not gonna sit there and cry.
And this
Because
is not the hotels in fucking Cancun. This is the Bronx, okay?
Like we forget,
Yeah, right.
we collecting things from others that are donated that you should have been throwing inside the wash before bringing to your hotel room. Period.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know what's coming on them.
So do y'all have places to wash our clothes, or y'all come to the building and wash them?
No, we go to the building.
We go to the building. There's no washer here. There's no wash here.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
See, that's the questions they were asking. Is there laundry rooms there? Why are they not accessible to laundry rooms? Why can't they go and wash their clothes? Why is it that they don't have nowhere to cook it? I mean, nobody said you was moving into a luxury hotel. We're not moving to a place where you're getting a suite where you can have a whole kitchen and everything else. If it was like that, then do you know how much more money than 4,000 and change it will cost them?
Yeah. But they was giving people that was had homeless people money. You know, hotels, nice hotels downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
I've been through the shelter system before. You be lucky if you get into one that you ain't gotta bunk up with somebody. And you get a kitchen and a 2-room shelter to stay in. So I'm not gonna be ungrateful. I'm gonna take what you're gonna give me for now, and I'm gonna make home out of it. Even though it's not home, but we're gonna make the best we can of it. And
It's a place to just lay our heads.
Right. Right.
And as long as my kids got somewhere to sleep for now, that's what matters to me. I get up every day, 6:30 in the morning. I'm up now, of course, because we ain't got a choice. And we got to get to school and do what we got to do on a regular daily basis. But this is what we have been given. This is the hand that we have been given. So we have to make the best of it. Until
like
they
mentals are really coming to play here.
Ready to help us.
It's New York.
Which is a little messed up because we shouldn't have to wait this long. It shouldn't take going on 2 months for us to be helped.
We are keeping you
It shouldn't. And there's so many new buildings. There's so many. The building that's right there. The 3rd Avenue on the Grand Concourse. I think the building is 30 or something. Grand Concourse. It's finished, but it's not open.
And there's another one on Valentine.
Yeah, Westchester. There's one on Westchester.
Raya. One on Raya.
Valentine, the one on Raya, because the one that's on Raya is exactly where I used to live. Like,
yeah, right.
Like, they're not offering us none of the above. Like, where CVR can get us, but so far, not many people want to take CVR. So this is, and they know that.
That's the problem.
They know that. And this is why they're willing to give us only CVR, because one way or another, we're going to put you through a struggle.
But it's just this affordable housing bullshit is just like, right now is not the time to want to be sitting here and playing the number game. Like, I need a home. Like, what does that have to, you should just be looking at the fact that, okay, she makes more than enough money, so I know the rent won't be paid. Let's go. Simple. But everybody making it more difficult than what it has to be. Like, this is what I'm not understanding. Like, if I'm first priority and it's urgent and everybody's going to have a place to stay, why don't I have a place to stay in? Why haven't I looked at multiple apartment units? Like, why y'all keep offering me this one, and then when I get the one, y'all telling me I make too much, or it's some bullshit. Like, if it's not one thing, it's another.
You know what's crazy? Because I've been waiting for so long to get into a program. I have went through a shelter system. I have signed up for housing. The Febs. I have been on a Section 8 waiting list since my son has been 3 years old. My son is 20. So when does that
I
kick
guarantee
in?
you get everything like that.
When does that kick in? So I have no choice but to work, because if not, we have nowhere to go, and I'm back in your system.
Yep.
Which is what they want. They want us back as many times as they can get us in that system.
So they want to control. They want to
what?
fucking control people. That's what they want to do.
And then you know what is it for? For them to call one of your family members and say, how many bedrooms do you have?
Yep.
Let me come and see your apartment and see that their living room, they see that their living room is spacey enough to fit a little 4 bunk beds. Okay, we're gonna put 2 here, 2 here. And now your family can bunk up with you, and we'll pay you for them to bunk in your house.
And then what if they say no?
No, there is no such thing, because you have room. Okay, let me tell you, this is how I got into my father's place, because we left. My dad, he was telling everybody, like, well, he was telling us, like, oh, I'm gonna freaking commit suicide, whatever the case may be. And we was like, all right, we left Massachusetts, came down here to him. We felt, it makes no sense. I'm not working now that I'm down here. I have to move out. I cannot stay in this 1-bedroom apartment. It's 4 of us. It was me, my husband, my son, and him at the time. We lived in the living room area, my father in the room. Now we went through the shelter system right here across the street path. I tell you no lie, the same day they tell us go food shopping because you're gonna be there for a minute. The same day I didn't even unpack my bags and I already had a note under the door within 2 days saying you have been denied.
Please get your children vaccinated.
Why are you denying me? Your father stated he has a 1-bedroom, but y'all can bunk up in his living room. I said, hold up. My dad even wrote a letter stating no. And they still put us in there. They said it's only for a couple of days till we find you somewhere so you don't have to live in the system. And you know what? 12 years later, we still there.
Right.
My friends.
Oh, man.
Love does.
So what
Now my
makes
dad,
no sense.
my son is already a grown man. He need his privacy.
So now
And
at this
now
time,
he
because
gets-
this is the election season, so they're blocking anything that could possibly fuck up an election. The building management been paying Mayor Adams for their elections and all that for the loans or whatever the case might be, and they don't want this shit to get out. This is exactly why I need this shit to get out. So we're gonna share this, right? We're gonna share this with everybody. We need everybody to share this because this is ridiculous. Now it's not even just about 333 fire. Like it's about the whole system, the system as a whole in general.
Yeah.
What are we putting y'all in office for now? Like, because at this point it's like, what are you doing?
And
Now
that's
we
the
gotta
thing.
start switching it up. Like, cause now you gotta show me something. Like, what are you showing me? Like that we can even trust in you. Like, who is this mayor? Like, where did he come from? Like, you don't even live in our neighborhood to even be dictating what the fuck should go on here. Like at this point, like I'm just pissed off at every fucking elected official here because y'all sitting here in y'all nice ass office, chummy laughing and taking pictures and shit while people gotta look at y'all motherfuckers on social media while y'all's just chilling.
Or you don't answer nobody's emails or texts. I email everybody, I text everybody, I call everybody, and nobody calls you back. Nobody calls you back.
This is
I've reached
why
out to Mr.
fuck
Torres
a
as well.
Democratic, fuck a Republican. Now everybody should vote independent, and just so happened that independent is black. Ain't that funny? Red and blue, and then independent is black. But you make it all. Everybody got to sign petitions. Fuck that. Everybody sign petitions. Find an independent leader or whatever in your neighborhood who's running for a mayor office, whatever, and vote for them because these motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. And I guarantee you, the independent people are for the people because this is ridiculous. If y'all gonna help, then help. Don't just rock me to sleep because you in a higher position and you could manipulate the news and all that extra shit to be in your favor. And you don't have to do shit.
Keep listening for your next chance to win.
Like you coming down here showing the face. This is why my spidey senses was up when they came down when he came down. Like, who the hell is this person? Why is he so? This is what we're here for, the people, and then blaming the fire on that man on the 3rd floor. Like, how dare you? How fucking dare you? Who wakes up and say, you know what? I'm gonna start some shit today because I don't feel like living in my apartment. I'm gonna just start a fire with my 8 children. I'm for everybody fucking
I want
life.
to hear my kids, and I want to hear my kids screaming from the bed that's on fire.
Yeah.
Dad, the bed is on fire while I'm sleeping.
Right.
Because that's what he chose. No, if your ass would have gave heat in this damn building, we wouldn't need heaters.
And they still not giving them heat because a lot of the people that's in the buildings that they still are cold. There is no heat. So obviously, not to be, a smart ass, but that tells you the landlord don't give a fuck. Because if you know this is how the fire started by not giving heat, you tell people they could come back into the apartment and you still ain't trying to give them fucking heat. But you're just blatantly telling them, fuck you.
Basically, it's for you.
Those heaters ain't working anyway. Those little heaters.
Stephanie, I know that your apartment was still cold. Because remember that time when they was fixing the building and underneath was open?
Yeah.
And your apartment was so fucking cold. Like I think even the water pipes, because that shit looked frozen.
Yeah, baby, it was frozen.
And it was like that for for mad long. Like, how do y'all And that just goes to show, like, y'all just really don't give a fuck. Like, people in their house with coats and shit on.
Yeah.
Make it make sense. And then I see that they had what's the names for mice. I'm like, no, for Steph, for your apartment. I'm like,
Your
those
apartment, we was
mice, big ass rats.
Red rats.
Like
They was coming up to the garbage compactor.
I was there. Tiny was scared.
No,
like,
it was a hole. They ate through the hole under the steps.
Like, because it was compromised because of the
pictures.
water. The water compromised the wall. So which
Yeah,
made it
brittle.
Yeah, brittle.
Yeah.
So when we put down mad fucking mouse traps.
traps.
These fucking rats, girl.
Mad big.
Mad fucking big. She caught like 18 of them shits in one day.
That's crazy.
Right
I've seen that
you
one day. I
heard them.
opened up the trash compartment, and there was like somebody was just catching mice after mice. I tell you no lie, it was about a stack like this of a bunch of mice, about 10 on each freaking trap.
Yeah.
It was all stacked up. I've opened my house.
They would have members came in and fixed it.
Yeah, I went
if
to walk
she
out
wasn't
my
like
door one day, and I'm looking on the floor. I'm like, I know I ain't got no fucking snakes in my house. So where the hell all these little mice come from? There is little baby newborn mice in the front of my door. Like the bitch was giving birth, just dropping them, trying to make it back into the damn hole.
Oh no.
I'm like, what the hell is going
But you
on?
know, there's holes in the back of the building.
In
where
the
doors
closet,
go. There's like holes that they could just go down and they're coming up through the building.
Listen, I done heard them every night. I wake up and I look towards my kitchen wall because I hear them chewing through my wall. And when you look on the floor,
all the time.
When you look on the floor, all you see is like your wall pieces all on the goddamn floor. I'm like, what the hell? When we went back just to get some stuff from the apartment, there was nothing but mice caught on traps that he left. It smelled like an apartment of fucking mice. Like if they was just running the whole fucking muck.
They like, oh, they not here, it's party time.
And I'm like, what's going on here? You would think, okay, maybe there's garbage around. Nothing. Nothing, not a bag of rice on the floor, not a nothing. But because the wood is so fucking rotten under the sink, and water the way it is, they're busy getting in like nothing.
Right.
This is their home. You know, like you don't pay no rent here, and I'm the one paying the rent for y'all to live in my shit too.
I'm sorry. I didn't include mice, so can we take some dollars over this motherfucker?
Hello.
I didn't say they can live here.
To the
Right, they're like, no, ma'am, it's too late. They've been here over 30 days. They can stay.
By law, we are squatted in this bitch. Like, I don't understand. So it's the whole us having to live with exterminators coming over 2, 3, 4 times out of a month. It shouldn't even be like that.
That's because it's not the exterminators. It's the building needs to fix the building. Like it's not exterminators could do but so much. That's what the exterminators told Tiny. Now, had Tiny not knew how to write her words and like the paper trail with it and make sure that she was on it, they would have left that girl just like that with them fucking rats in her house. I guarantee you that. Because I've seen it happen plenty of times, especially with the language barrier from the people from Gambia on different floors. Because I seen they had rats on their floors and it was still, but being that she was on it and writing out like she was reading it to me and sending it to them, like, and I was there with her, and they had to respond timely because
to get on it.
Yeah, because they like, oh shit, like she's wording the way how I knew they was on it, like, oh shit, all right, boom, all right, shit, they gotta be on it. And she was telling them the war's compromised, so they keep sending out the old fucking that old super, you know, the other one, new one.
Yeah, no shit.
You know, he a little slow. Talk about, I knocked on the door. We was in the house the whole time, and I'm like, you can't be serious. Like, sir, did you? He like, I was knocking. I said, well, did you tap? Because we was here.
Oh yeah, that was his favorite thing. He used to show up to my door and tell my father, "Here, sign this paper." And no work be done in the house, but you got him signing the goddamn paperwork.
Just show that I was stupid.
Oh, because I did the work, he signed. So I'm like, where did you do the work? You waited till I left the damn house to then come upstairs knowing he was there. Oh, wait, dad can't read. Everybody knows that. Let me let him be the dummy. He can sign the damn paper.
I'm just tired of being taken advantage of with these people.
You know, it was like the
disrespectful.
building management knew what they was doing to certain people, and they just felt like, you know what, let me just keep doing it.
Until people be like, yo, so we're not leaving the building and I need an apartment in another floor. How about that? So what y'all gonna do now? I don't want to leave. I want my apartment on a different floor. That's it.
They got upset with me because
somebody is asking that. Somebody did request that they was saying, okay, I can't go back to my apartment. Can I take one of the apartments that have been vacated by the people that moved out? And they told them no. I told them no, they can't take that apartment.
So now so it's something else that we're going to have to do, because how are you telling people no, they can't come back to the building? Why? If you have apartments available.
They want everybody out so that they can fix it up and they can add light and gas included and have a bunch of people come on in.
Yeah, she's a piece of work.
Very much so.
He tells everybody, well, you should have had some home insurance.
Oh yeah, that part. Renters insurance.
They have insurance. They have insurance on the building. So
yeah, because I mean, they put a big ass sign on my motherfucker. Yeah, for your apartment.
No, for yours. Yeah.
So it was, my home was vandalized. I can't go and make a police report.
Because they stopped taking police reports.
No, because they won't let the police in the building to do the report. So
because they won't let them in to investigate.
Yeah. So how you gonna do a report?
You know what they told? They're gonna find everybody's fingerprints in there.
So everybody's who's not mine, we can what the fuck that got to do with anything? Are you the police?
Are we supposed to investigate every fingerprint with all the people that came in and out of these apartments because of the fire?
That's what the police said?
Or if they can turn on the cameras and see if they can see my TV walking out by itself.
Right.
Yeah, yours grew legs, baby.
It just said, I can't listen no more. Let me pack up and leave.
I want to know.
Let's just go to everybody's apartment, see where it's at.
Right.
Can you see the workers that went into my unit come out a lot, like 10 times fatter than what they were before they walked into my unit?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure they had things down them jumpers.
Or they probably was throwing them shits out the window and then collecting the shits out there, because it was a whole bunch of garbage in the back of the building, or garbage bags.
Right at night.
What's that, Jeannie?
After everybody done gone in and out of the building, my unit still was going back into leaving the keys with them. Not for repairs, not for none of the above. For so-called things that weren't even in my unit. So my unit is being accused of things that my lawyer had to come and check out that weren't even in my unit. Like, we talk about, we just gonna keep it real. I don't know if you want to put it on the record, but they was like, I had a whole fucking, with me, my kids and everyone living in there, of course. How do you have a whole grow house inside your whole entire living room, taking up your living room? Where did we sleep then?
They don't know what plants look like.
Mind you, I different plants.
They never seen plants before? They never seen plants.
So,
but why are you going in my apartment without asking me?
My unit was told, but to my lawyer and everything, and like they try to put it out like we were some monster drug dealers in the building, and I'm like, where the fuck was they coming from? Because a bitch worked every day. My kids got to come in this apartment. Do they not know about this neither? Where did we hide them? Where did I have time? With fire marshals coming in there, police officers escorting us to our units to pick up property, medications, and everything. and you didn't see it the whole time.
So
But-
They got X-ray weed eyes. That's how come they was able to see it.
yeah, basically.
But you didn't see everybody stealing my shit. But you saw a whole house that was a grow house, a whole bedroom
Their
apartment that
eyes don't see the right; it sees the wrong.
like I didn't. So
Girl.
I'm like, and my literally my lawyer had to show up to the unit. Like, okay, now I'm just gonna have to put some paperwork down, like because this is harassment.
Yeah.
At this point.
Mm-hmm.
But little do y'all know, if y'all didn't have it in my apartment, and then you had the nerve to take a picture of my door, not my door with the shit open, showing my whole gross shit, just the front of my door with somebody else's apartment.
So no.
Do that.
So was it in your apartment?
No.
They
Where was I gonna get rid of it? You got security guards outside the door.
With the fucking camera shits right here.
But the security has been taking naps. Because from my understanding, last week, somebody was on the third floor.
Yeah.
And we asked, how did you get on the third floor? And he said, security was sleeping.
So it makes sense.
Floor, you know, each floor got a little security guard now. So you telling me where did I take all these? Where did I take a whole grow apartment? Where'd I stick it? Where I put all the stuff?
Right, in your belly.
You don't really have a baby in there. You have marijuana.
Period.
They figured it out.
It's like it's crying.
They have completely figured it out. So my lawyer came and she's like, she had to take pictures of the whole freaking unit. She's like, but where is everything they was telling me was in here? Because my whole apartment bins of clothing and 4 plants hanging at the window, and a huge one that has been with us since before my daughter was born, over 15 years, of a carnivorous plant, because that's all my husband has is carnivorous plants that eat fucking bugs at the window.
That's so cool.
And so like he got picture plants and fly traps and like the the one from that damn movie.
The weird
Little Shop of Horrors.
Little Shop of Horrors.
Yeah, so ones like that. So it's like she literally laughed like, you have got to be kidding me right now.
No.
So now it's a matter of, what are y'all doing?
Nothing. Now you fucking with people.
Like, what are you doing at this point? Because at the end of the day, last I had to look up after all this was said and done, like, hold up. Even if it was in my apartment, which it wasn't, but this shit is fucking legal.
They don't care. They're just trying to find some sort of excuse to blame you for something.
Because they're getting sued.
Yeah, because they're getting sued.
So